Coming up on this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
We've got coverage from CattleCon 26 in Nashville, including thoughts from the incoming NCBA President. Plus, we'll take you inside the CattleFax Outlook Seminar to hear what the experts think about the year ahead.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Thanks for joining us as we bring you special coverage from CattleCon 26 in Nashville. We had an incredible turnout as thousands of cattlemen and women came to Tennessee for a valuable mix of business, education, networking, and fun. This event is also where a new president officially takes the reins of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. This year, that work will be done by Virginia cattleman Gene Copenhaver. Let's take a look at what life is like back home for Gene and his family.
On a crisp fall morning in southwest Virginia, you'll often find Gene Copenhaver dropping feed for stocker cattle. It's a contrast from summertime when these hills are covered with thick grass. Season after season, this land has been home for generations of the Copenhaver family.
We came to Washington County around 1850. My great-great-grandfather, James Copenhaver, came here from another county in southwest Virginia. I always had cattle, always been part of our operation. Our operation is Copenhaver Brother Farms, and my dad and uncle started that about 75 years ago. The unique part of southwest Virginia in raising cattle is our moisture in our grass. We just get a lot of rain, and our grass is good. We're above 2,000 feet above sea level, so our grazing is just as good as it gets in the world. It's unique, the rolling hills, the green grass, and the great gains we have on cattle.
Although Gene had a long career in the ag banking industry, he and his wife Jody have always had a hand in the family farm. These days, Gene is partnered with his son Will as they continue to grow their stocker operation together.
Will brought himself into the operation. I'm not going to take credit for Will. Will's a self-starter. Will owns more of the operation than I do now. We have a plan for he'll own it all in the next 15 years. I didn't bring him along, he brought himself along. He listens well, listens to other people well. Real proud of him.
Family is a high priority for Gene, and as much as he loves running the farm and the stocker cattle, he especially enjoys the recently acquired role of grandfather.
I love grandkids. That's the greatest gift God has ever given anybody, is being a grandparent. I will say that. And I got to do that first 3 years ago, and it gets better and better every day. My grandkids, the two that are here, one's just an infant, but the 3-year-old think it's the greatest thing on earth. She rides in the feed truck almost daily. Success for me in my own business and family is being able to sustain what we've started here and build it for the future.
Providing a future in the cattle business for his son and grandkids is one motivation for Gene's service as a volunteer leader. Gene helped to start his county cattlemen's organization. He's a past president of the Virginia Cattlemen, and he's served in a variety of leadership roles for NCBA.
The big thing came from my dad. He was very active with the local and state and national association. He preached to be at the table, policy-wise especially. So we're big on being at the table and knowing your business and being able to convey that business to politicians, because sometimes politicians don't understand our business.
In serving as NCBA President, Gene looks forward to working on policies that will help protect the cattle business and give producers in the country a unified voice on issues that matter.
In my opinion, NCBA's greatest strength is continuing will be our grassroots efforts. I'm a good example. I'm from Virginia. We've not had many presidents from Virginia, but I am. And that shows that regionally we can be there. I'm from Region 1, and Region 1 has got very active in policy and grassroots, and we'll continue to do that. What keeps me the most optimistic about the future of the cattle industry is two things. One thing is the demand. What we created for demand the last 40 years is unreal. And the second thing is the young people coming on that has that enthusiasm for that demand factor and for the enthusiasm to be in the industry.
On the Copenhaver Brothers Farm in Southwest Virginia, I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Joining us now is the new president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Gene Copenhaver. Gene, on a personal note, just what does it mean for you to be serving as president of this organization?
Kevin, I feel like a blessed man for many reasons. Blessed to be serve with the great association and in the greatest industry in the world, and blessed to have somebody back at home to look after the operation while I get to do my travels this next year and meet people from all over the country and see same people or different landscapes, same people. And I feel just so blessed and humbled because of the great leaders of the past that's been here. And I'm really looking forward to it.
We stand on those shoulders indeed. I'm curious, your journey to this presidency began a long time ago in your local community. Tell us a little bit about that.
It did. I look back at my dad and his service with the industry on the local, state, and national level. And then, I've been a member of NCBA for 35 years, but about 25 years ago, we started a new county cattlemen's group, and I got to be part of it. And being part of that, and then, being part of the Virginia Cattlemen's Association, first as treasurer, and then moving up the chain through that. And Virginia Foundation Board, I was chairman of that, and that's it's still involved with that. But, service starts at a local level most of the time, and you move on up the chain, and now at the national level, I can give some service back to this great industry.
Yeah, and we very much appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I'm curious, as you look across the industry, I'm certain you see a number of challenges, but a lot of opportunity as well. What are you most excited about in terms of some of the biggest opportunities for the beef industry moving forward?
Well, the biggest opportunity, I think, is to continue to build demand, which we've done a great job the last 40 years. And I think there's a lot of work still to do there. And we've had so many wins policies on the policy side this year through the last 12 months. I think we can build off that. And the last thing that gives me hope and excitement is the young people that's coming on. I got to go on the YCC tour this year, and it was very impressive to see that group of young people, different sectors and different ways of life, but coming together for the common cause of the industry. It gives me a lot of excitement there.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much, and good luck in the year ahead. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you, Kevin.
If you want to hear more of Gene's thoughts on the state of the beef industry, just check out Cattlemen's Call podcast, hosted by Lane Nordland. He's also featured in the latest issue of the National Cattlemen. A subscription is included free of charge when you become an NCBA member. It's easy to do. Just call 866-233-3872 or visit ncba.org. Still ahead on Cattlemen to Cattlemen, we'll have insights from the CattleFax Outlook Seminar and hear what the experts are saying about the markets for the year ahead. Stay with us.
Cattle producers across the country work hard to care for their animals and their land. The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service is there to help. Find out how you can work with NRCS to develop a conservation plan for your operation. Find possible funding resources for implementing conservation practices, or get free expert advice on ways to improve your farm or ranch. Visit the website nrcs.usda.gov today.
Are you concerned about the impact government policies could have on your cattle business? One way to make your voice heard in Washington is by joining NCBA. When you join, you'll be part of the nation's oldest and largest national cattle industry organization that has a professional team working in Washington, D.C. on issues that matter to cattle-producing families nationwide. Don't stay on the sidelines. Make your voice heard by joining NCBA today at the website ncba.org.
Welcome back. One of the best attended events at CattleCon is always the CattleFax Outlook Seminar. It's a chance to hear what the experts think about the factors driving the markets and what we might expect for the year ahead. Megan Grebner has a recap of this can't-miss event.
CattleFax is one of the most popular sessions at CattleCon. With us is Randy Block, CEO of CattleFax. All right, I think the question everybody wants to know is what to expect in cattle markets in 2026 and looking ahead.
Well, I think we've got another pretty good year ahead of us, Megan. You know, the supply is still very tight. Not enough cattle, not enough beef, and consumers love what we're producing. So demand's at a 40-year high. With these kind of supplies, I think we're going to see another very strong year for prices.
How surprising is it to see this demand continue to hold steady, knowing that those retail beef prices are pushing higher?
Well, they're pushing higher in here, but we haven't been able to measure any real demand weakness yet. So that's been a real positive. But we know based on the increase in prices that we've seen, we're going to start seeing some pushback. Again, remember, higher prices are there to ration these smaller supplies, and that's what we're into.
Do you anticipate it being maybe a choice or a turn down, so between beef, not necessarily turning to another protein?
Well, I don't see that we're really seeing a trade-off to people are trading away from beef into pork or poultry. We're seeing some trade down within the beef segment. Again, look at ground beef demand. Ground beef demand is shown up over the last 2 years to be the number one increase in demand item across retail stores in America. So when you can say that, again, you can see some of the trade down, but I think that's just part of where the consumer is today. Beef is in style. We're catching the wave right now, and we all need to appreciate that because the industry's focused on doing that for so many decades, and we're finally being rewarded.
All right, so let's talk about the other question I think a lot of producers have is when are we going to start growing long-term and to see some expansion, notable expansion in the industry?
Well, you know, I think we've all been surprised we haven't seen just a little more show up yet. Excuse me. But I do believe we're going to start to see it turn. We think we're just a little bit further along in the expansion side than what the USDA inventory report showed on Friday. We think we're starting to see just a few more beef cows out here based on the slowdown in beef cow slaughter. Beef cow slaughter is down 30% in 2 years. So those numbers by themselves would tell us we should be starting to see things turn. It's going to be slow, though. I mean, we've been fighting drought for a long period of time. We're still dry across a lot of country today. We had some good news from Matt Makins today, which was encouraging that we think we're going to get into a little bit wetter cycle. So historically, takes two things, green grass and profitability to grow the nation's cow herd. We put those two things together, I'd be 100% positive that we're going to see an uptick in the number of cattle we have on our operations.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Kevin, back to you.
Still to come on Cattlemen to Cattlemen, meteorologist Matt Makins stops by to discuss the long-term weather forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Join Maddox Cattle Company for Phase 2 of their Maternalizer Mature Cow Herd Dispersal Saturday, March 7th at Ogallala Livestock Auction. Selling 3,000 head of home-raised bred females that emphasize maternal excellence, moderate stature, and are designed to graze year-round with minimal inputs. Don't miss Maddox Cattle Company's Phase 2 Maternalizer Mature Cow Herd Dispersal. Visit maddoxcattle.com for full details.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. NCBA is the oldest and largest national cattle industry organization working to defend your interests in Washington, D.C. And there are big benefits to being a member. You'll get news you can use in the National Cattlemen, email updates in the NCBA Beef Bulletin, plus big discounts only for NCBA members. Join by calling 866-233-3872 or online at ncba.org.
One of the highlights every year at CattleCon is the CattleFax Seminar, but in that is the weather update, and with us is CattleFax meteorologist Matt Makins. Matt, what do we need to know about 2026 weather?
Okay, so we just went through this roadmap of things, if you will, during the Outlook session, and the roadmap kind of dissected what this transition of the year is like. And I say transition because we're going from La Nina, where we are, and we're going to head likely into El Nino. It's not locked in stone just yet, but that's likely the direction we're going. So we discussed how rapidly this transition happens can affect the weather pattern across the country. How quickly do we spread that moisture out, or where are we taking it away from? That's what we dissected this morning.
One of the things folks are going to want to know is grass availability. How is the weather shaping up for that in cattle country?
The longest but shortest answer I can give on that is how you start your year is not how you're going to finish. That will likely flip the script for everybody. So southern grazers, maybe you're doing poorly to start off the season because of the drought. Well, by the end of the year with El Nino, your odds of moisture have increased, so your season ends likely better than how it started. But if you're a northern producer, then you have the opposite. You're saying, well, we were getting some winter storms, we got some spring moisture, and that will begin to dry out. So it's highly regionalized, but how you start your year is not how you're going to finish. Works out for a lot of folks in this case.
So are you saying there's some optimism and some reason to be optimistic about the weather this year?
If we truly do get this El Nino to develop, it will spread a lot of water into areas that have been very dry for basically 2 to 3 years. South Texas, Oklahoma, southwestern corner, a lot of the west, that can help spread water to them. So that would be an optimistic point. If I'm a producer in Montana, the Canadian prairies out to the northwest, that can spread drought my direction, so I want to be cautious about that. So it's not great news for everybody, but for the beef industry, if we clump us all into one big group, El Nino typically treats us better than a La Nina does.
Talk to us a little bit about what it's like to be here at CattleCon and be interacting with the producers.
It's everywhere I walk is a question about weather or maybe a complaint or something about the weather and what's coming, right? So trade show is super busy. A lot of folks asking the super long range stuff. And then you stop somebody in the hall and they're like, is it going to rain at my place next week? Or, hey, I'm here on social media, there's cold that's going to hit Texas in 2 weeks. Those kinds of questions. You know, it's a wide variety. But yeah, when I walk from place to place, it's a popular place to stop me, it seems. But that's okay. That's fine with me. Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it gets a little busy sometimes.
Matt, anything else we need to know?
I would watch the speed of this transition. If El Nino does get locked in, okay, well, how quickly does it arrive? Because that will change how quickly the impact moves in, how quickly I get water or how quickly drought sets in, depending on your region, as we discussed. So watch that transition. We'll try to keep on top of it as best we can through multiple channels, but watch the speed at which this thing happens, should it ultimately happen, and it does look like it will.
Matt, thanks so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
You can follow along Matt's forecast at cattlefax.com or ncba.org. Kevin, back to you.
Now, when we come back, we'll hear from this year's winner of NCBA's National Anthem Contest. Stay with us.
So she didn't inherit Grandpa's jawline, but there's no doubt she's family. It's your job to raise her, and it can be tough. Let's make it easier. With technology and automation, you can do more, like produce high-quality bales with way less effort. Built-in sensors can measure bale moisture and size, so you can monitor quality on the go and manage your fleet from your phone. Sit back and enjoy effortless operation. Discover an easier way to work.
Did you know you can get reimbursed for attending cattle industry educational events? The Rancher Resilience Grant helps cattle producers attend valuable programs such as Cattlemen's College and Stockmanship and Stewardship training sessions. Local, state, and national events qualify, and you can get money back to help cover registration fees and hotel costs. To apply for the Rancher Resilience Grant, go to the website ncba.org and click on the Education and Resources tab.
Ticks remain one of the U.S. cattle industry's biggest threats. We've got the latest on these problematic parasites.
Joining us now is Chief Veterinarian for NCBA, Dr. Kathy Simmons. As we take a look, what are some of the big issues you guys are focusing on?
Megan, thanks for that question. We're also focusing right now on some of the reports that have come out. Most recently, we had the report come out, the annual summary of antimicrobial drugs that are medically important that are used in food animals for the year 2024. Unlike the previous year, we did see a 16% increase in that value. I think when we look at that, we have to realize, yes, we're looking at trends, of course, but that this does not indicate necessarily use. This is sales and distribution of these products. Also, we have to realize that now all the medically important antimicrobials are under veterinary medical oversight, which means they can't be purchased over the counter. They have to require either a veterinary feed directive, a veterinary prescription. So that would indicate that in the past year, or in the year 2024, that we had probably some increased disease incidence in some of our animal species.
One of the other things you've been updating producers on is the Asian longhorn tick. What do we need to know?
Well, I tell you, I think the biggest challenge for the cattle industry in the next 10 years is going to be vector-borne diseases. And these are diseases that are carried by pests, such as ticks. The Asian longhorn tick is an exotic, invasive tick that came to us from East and Central Asia. We first discovered this tick in 2017 in New Jersey. We think maybe it may have been here as early as 2010 when it was misdiagnosed. But now it has spread starting at the East Coast over into the Midwest. We see it in over 26 states. So we're having to deal with not only this tick, which is a very aggressive feeder, but also the diseases that it carries.
Thank you so much for the update.
Thank you.
Dr. Kathy Simmons, Chief Veterinarian for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Kevin, back to you.
Each year at CattleCon, NCBA holds a contest sponsored by Norbrook to find a cattle producer to sing the national anthem at the opening general session. Let's meet this year's winner.
Well, for 13 years now, our friends at Norbrook have sponsored the National Anthem Contest here at CattleCon. We're down on the trade show floor of the NCBA's huge trade show, and it's fun time to catch up with Dr. Megan Boland with Norbrook. And Dr. Boland, talk about why you guys at Norbrook are such big supporters of this National Anthem Contest.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So Norbrook is really proud to sponsor the National Anthem now for 13 years in a row, which has flown by. But as a family-owned company, this is really close to our values, is supporting the cattle farmers across the industry and across America, and this is a great way to do it.
You know, one more question before we let you out of the hot seat and we meet this year's winner. It really is fun to see these men and women from across this great country of ours, the fabric of rural America, get to perform here at CattleCon.
Yeah, I know. Like faith, family, and farming is really what it comes down to, and those are really core values for Norbrook as well. So we're always happy to sponsor and glad to be here again.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and meet the 2026 NCBA National Anthem Contest winner, Grayson Stevens out of Indiana. First and foremost, you just kicked off CattleCon 26 here in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City of all places, in front of thousands of cattle producers. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, and I'm just so thankful for this experience and that Norbrook is able to sponsor it for me.
Now tell us a little bit about yourself and your background with singing, because word has it, it hasn't always been your top priority.
No, so like you said, I'm from Indiana, and I show mainly club steers. And yeah, no, I really don't sing that often. I just got pulled into this past summer, so.
Are you kidding me? Just this past summer is when you got going with this?
Yeah, so I sang at my Clinton County 4-H Queens pageant, and that was the first time I sang in public, and now I'm here.
So you're saying there's hope for guys like me out there?
Yeah, I mean, of course. There's always hope.
Well, I mean, singing to farm animals is always a great way to brushing up your singing skills. Talk about the opportunity, and if this is a contest that you would encourage others to get involved with and get the chance to experience CattleCon and this NCBA trade show.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a great opportunity. I would tell anyone that I know to apply for the National Anthem Contest. Even if you're not a singer like I am, I'm not the biggest singer, I still had many people encourage me to get on the national anthem contest, and here I am. But I think CattleCon is extremely important for cattlemen and women.
Last question for you. What's the future hold for Grayson Stevens?
So right now I'm planning on attending Joliet Junior College in Illinois to pursue my judging career. And then after that, I think I'm just going to go to a senior college and study animal reproduction.
Well, we certainly wish you the best. And again, congratulations on being named the 2026 National Anthem winner here at CattleCon 2026. Again, if you want to throw your hat in the ring and maybe have the chance to do what Miss Grayson did right here in Music City, get your nominations in right now for next year's contest by visiting ncba.org.
Well, that wraps up this edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Thanks so much for spending time with us. We'll see you again next week right here on RFD TV.